Welcome back to Between Pages and Friends, a book club podcast hosted by Con and Lauren, two besties who read a lot of books, and Jon and Kyle, our gamer-turned-reader husbands who've agreed to read with us. I'm Con.
I'm Jon.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Lauren. Today we're very excited to be starting the Dungeon Crawler Carl series by Matt Dinniman. We'll be covering the first 3 books over the next few months and cannot wait to introduce you guys to this world. In today's episode, we are covering everything you need to know about our podcast, the lit RPG genre of books, and the series before we get into it.
Since the start of this podcast in 2024, you all have been begging for Kyle to choose a book for the pod, something packed with action, high stakes, unpredictable plot twists, ridiculous humor, nerd stuff probably, and a top-tier audiobook. Your time has come. Kyle and Lauren read through all currently published books of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series in 2025, and starting February 11th, they will be leading Con and myself through our first read of the series.
And we really will be getting right into the action with Carl and his recent ex-girlfriend's pet cat, Princess Donut, as they find themselves as so far survivors in a dungeon made of what was once Earth thanks to an alien-sanctioned apocalypse. They learn their time in the dungeon will be televised to the infinite masses of the universe, and that their survival is not nearly as important as their ratings. We will be closely watching their crawl and commenting on whatever gets us good ratings, too.
Before we begin this series, we want to take note of some trigger and content warnings. Dungeon Crawler Carl includes references to slavery, parental abandonment and child abuse recounted, infidelity by an ex-partner, alcohol consumption and drug use, graphic depictions, that too, those also exist. Okay. Graphic depictions of blood and gore, murder and mass murder, and scenes involving explosions and fire. As always, please take care of yourself while reading and listening.
As we've mentioned, this is a book club podcast, which means it is not a deep dive. You do not have to read the entire series before joining us for episode 1. Our episodes are designed for you to read along without fear of spoilers. Each week will be dedicated to a specific chapter section, which Jon and I will be reading along with you for the very first time. That being said, please do not send any spoilers to us. I monitor all of our DMs and emails with Lauren, so please kindly wait until we've caught up before sharing any memes, theories, or spoilery questions.
If you would like to discuss the book as we go, we have a designated space for spoiler-free and spoiler-filled chats over on Discord. You can join our incredible Discord community through a Patreon membership. Our $5 Patreon tier includes access to the Discord server, our monthly book club, and live events. Our $10 tier includes early ad-free access to new podcast episodes, voting privileges, merch discounts, and even more ways to get to know the four of us. Check out the link in the show notes or description box below to learn more.
And if you'd like to support the show for free, you can leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts or Audible. It'll help level up our podcast so we can reach new crawlers on our journey through the world dungeon. Here's a recent 5-star review on Apple Podcasts from our new bestie, KDMO5, titled, "Hilarious! I love this podcast. I've listened along with all of the TOG series, Quicksilver, and now Brimstone. Also look forward to the monthly reading wrap-ups. Your personalities mesh so well together, and I laugh out loud in every episode. YouTube is where it's at to see all the costumes and expressions. Thanks for taking the time to record these. Thanks for taking the time to watch them, KDMO5.
Yes.
Yeah, Katie.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
Katie.
And the monthly wrap-ups. That makes my heart so happy.
Me too.
Thank you. Lastly, before we get into DCC, we have an exciting announcement. We are now officially attending 2 in-person events in 2026. You can, of course, meet us in person at a Sorcerer's Affair on April 25th.
I'm sorry, where?
Where's that?
Where are we going?
Where are we going?
Oh, I'm sorry. You can, of course, meet us in person at a Sorcerer's Affair on April 25th in Kansas City, Kansas. We are so excited to be hosting the VIP experience with some other amazing content creators. Tickets for this are super limited, so go right now. Use code FRIENDS20 for 20% off your ticket at bookishloreeventskc.com.
And if Dallas, Texas happens to be closer to you, you can catch us at the first ever Dreamers and Readers Festival on March 6th through 8th. This will be a stunning weekend packed full of fantasy events and a giant expo. So head to fantasticcollection.com to grab your tickets now. It's a choose your own adventure kind of weekend where you can get tickets for as much or as little as you'd like. We cannot wait to connect with you and all the incredible authors, vendors, and creators there.
If you're new here, you may be wondering who the heck we even are. So let's do some quick intros. I'm Jon, Connor's husband, dad of 2 tiny chaos goblins, Orange Theory manager and occasional coach, and the man responsible for turning spicy fantasy scenes into emojis on the internet. Connor and I met in an a cappella group in college. I winked, she fainted, and the rest is romance. I spend my days mainly coaching myself on how to make that social post look like it wasn't made by a millennial, and my nights fighting Asterian's advances and trying my best to not become a mind flayer. My top gaming titles are currently, obviously, Baldur's Gate 3, Escape from Tarkov, and Hogwarts Legacy, with some of my favorite all-time titles being the Batman and Witcher series, Final Fantasy VII, and so much more. I've rekindled my reading journey after Con got me to read Throne of Glass, which flung me into the Massverse, earning my master's, of course, after finishing all 3 of her series. And I have greatly enjoyed reading and laughing with these other chickens for the pod. And after the hype, I'm pretty excited to see why everyone is raving about this Carl gentleman.
Well, I am Kyle. I work at Walgreens, which means I'm somewhat gainfully employed, so I have that going for me. I'm the father of 2 amazing girls who have turned my free time into a theoretical concept, and I would die for them. I'm married to Lauren of BPNF fame. You might have heard of her. She's my wife, best friend, and the person I purposefully choose to spend time with, which mostly involves reading together, gaming together, watching movies together, and sending her TikToks that get less and less funny, but she acts like they're still funny. I'm also a D&D nerd who serves as a dungeon master, both in person and online, a role I accepted willingly and now cannot escape. I tell stories, build worlds, and spend an unreasonable amount of time thinking up imaginary problems. That's right, I made anxiety my hobby. I also write, which reflects my reading habit, mostly dealing with fantasy, some sci-fi, and occasionally I like to hyper-focus on a word's origin and history until I've seen the word so much it loses all meaning to me.
Love of my life. Amazing. Hi, I'm Lauren. I am a middle school and high school choir teacher, so I spend most of my days just singing and dancing. I mostly focus on competitive show choir, and I also help direct the school's musicals. I am a wife to Kyle and the mother of 2 beautiful little girls who are in 1st grade and preschool, and they are really growing up way too freaking fast. On the podcast, I am your doc master, spotting early, keeping track of, and genuinely freaking out about all sorts of ships we encounter, such as relation, friend, companion, etc. I am also the current reigning champion of the cry counter, which we keep track of at the end of each episode. In my very little free time, I can be found lost completely in a pointless idle game on my phone, or maybe doing diamond art. I was extremely skeptical when Kyle showed me Dungeon Crawler Carl in January of 2025, but after listening to the first book together on a road trip, I was hooked. I have loved reading this entire series together, and now I can't wait to read it again with Jon, Con, and all of you listening.
Yay, me too.
I know.
You've been raving about it for a year. Oh my
whole
gosh.
year. It's
A
about
whole
time
year.
we're here.
Sorry, I don't know why it did a thumbs down. I didn't even have my hands on the screen. Okay. And I'm Con. By day, I am a senior graphic designer and event planner for a large corporation. By night / every other waking moment, I am a wife to Jon, mom to Zoe and Daisy, and cat mom to the real star of this show, Minnie. You'll see Minnie the cat in every episode if you watch on YouTube. Most of my life, I was more music obsessed than book obsessed, but Lauren got me back into reading a few years ago, and it completely changed my life. Lauren and I met in college and have been long distance besties ever since. These days, I'll read pretty much anything, but mainly stick to romance and fantasy books. On the pod, I'll be your resident guide to fantasy pronunciations and world building. Off the pod, you can usually find me listening to audiobooks, hyperfixating on a new random DIY craft, singing in the car with my girls, or designing for BPNF on my walking pad, which I affectionately refer to now as Walkie Walkie Laptop Time.
Do you actually?
I just started calling it that a few days ago.
Like just now, right now, I just made that
just
up.
now.
Right, yeah.
Just right
now, I
this
think.
very second.
In this moment, yes.
Amazing. It's like, I've never heard you say that,
Yep.
but I'm here for it.
Same. Normally, or at least so far, we've been covering romantasy on this podcast, and our book club on Discord will generally do the same with some contemporary romance or dark romance thrown in. We've covered romantasy series like I mentioned earlier, Throne of Glass. We've also done the Empyrean, Fae and Alchemy, and Moonfall so far. So the lit RPG is, of course, a different genre, so we'll go over what to expect there as well as the story as a whole. We won't get any more spoilery than what you'd find on the back of the book, though, to keep ourselves and you from getting spoiled.
So let's start with what is a lit RPG. A lit RPG is I would say once niche but now up-and-coming genre that brings game-like rules, levels, stats, skills, progression directly into the story, like making growth, power, and change visible rather than merely implied, where romance and dark fantasy often describe a character as the strongest, most dangerous, or deeply changed through tone and reputation. Lit RPG proves it through clear numerical systems and defined abilities. You will know who the strongest is because they have the biggest number, basically. The rules don't hinder the story, though. They strengthen it. The world operates on consistent, very transparent mechanics. Success feels earned and failure carries real weight. Just as characters in other genres find clever loopholes through wit or circumstance, lit RPG characters exploit the well-defined system, uncovering creative solutions precisely because the rules are so strict. The result is a genre that turns metaphor into mechanics. Emotional arcs, relationships, danger, and ambition are reinforced by tangible progression. You don't just feel that characters have grown, you can see exactly how and why it matters.
Ooh, I'm learning so much. I love that. Aside from references to Earth's own culture that widely ranges from worldwide phenomena and historical events to incredibly niche and obscure hobbies and references, the lore builds from the start of the story. So aside from brushing up on your top 100 Billboard hits and popular 90s sitcoms, you'll be just fine.
Lucky for all those who struggle with fantasy geography, and unfortunately for those who struggle with real geography, this series takes place on Earth, pretty much. There will be plenty of references to names, places, events, and culture from all around the world. And if you were alive at any point from the 1990s on, chances are you'll get a fair amount of them. Yay you! As for politics, you are, as a first-time reader, on the exact level you're supposed to be. The Earth ends in Chapter 1, and from then on, we're all learning about new political structures and interpersonal conflicts.
We will be covering the bonus chapters that can be found at the end of each print edition of the books after we've covered the first 3 books themselves in their entirety. So while you're welcome to read those after each individual book, know that we will wait to do 3 all at once.
So let's get into what you can expect from us in each episode. We'll be switching things up a bit for DCC. That's how you say Dungeon Crawler Carl if you're a cool kid. To fully embody the spirit of the series. So if you've listened to the show before, prepare to be dazzled. Or not. It's not that deep. We always start by sharing a review from you lovely people on Apple Podcasts or Audible, so if you haven't written a review yet, this is your reminder to do so and get a little shout out on the pod. Then it's time for Con's Declassified Fantasy Pronunciation Guide, where Con guides us through new characters and world-building elements and how to pronounce them. For this series, I'll also be providing a glossary of terms related to RPGs for those who may not be familiar in Kyle's Dungeon Field Guide.
Once we're familiar with all the new terms, characters, and world building, Jon takes the mic for chapter recaps. He'll give a high-level summary of the section, so we are ready to dive in. Next, all 4 of us go chapter by chapter and break it all down. We discuss things like world building, character development. My God, you guys. We'll discuss things like world building, character development, moments that make us laugh, cry, gasp, and swoon, and highlight things we love about the author's writing style or the audiobook performance, which is top tier, by the way.
We will end each episode with reflection questions from Lauren and Kyle, thoughts and theories from myself and Jon, an update on the official cry counter moderated by Lauren, our reigning champion of crying, as well as a reminder of the chapter section for the following week.
And to keep you in the loop, we have some running bits that have developed throughout our first 4 seasons together. Con and Lauren started a drinking game where we all take a drink every time a character's jaw ticks or something similar. Purely for hydration purposes, of course, we are usually drinking water. Kyle has a segment called the Red Flag Diary, where he uses his counselor training to analyze the red flags in our main characters. As for me, whenever I encounter a spicy scene in the chapter recap, I describe the entire scene using only emojis in a segment called Emoji Erotica. We may not be getting much of that, if at all, in this series, but you'll have to tune in to see if that possibly morphs into something a little different for Dungeon Crawler Carl. We call out inside jokes from other series sometimes as well, but it won't take long to pick up on them. We are all besties here.
So before we jump into Dungeon Crawler Carl, we want to get Jon and Con's initial impressions just based on what they've seen and heard. So, Jon and Con, what are your expectations for the series? Hopes, your dreams? What have you heard? What do you got?
Well, I'm quite excited to be discussing a book by a male author for the first time on the pod. Nothing against the ladies. I feel like I've been needing the change in dynamic a little, and I think the change in genre will also help that a lot too, because we've typically been doing the fantasy romantasy, but going in blind, I have no context whatsoever for the series. If Lauren and Kyle have referenced anything related to Dungeon Crawler Carl, then I have since forgotten it. And I know we saw a guy dressed as Carl at Enchanticon, but I couldn't tell you what he was wearing other than fake feet. So
Yeah.
Lore accurate.
Yeah,
that's what I got.
What do you got, Con?
Amazing. I don't know what that means. I am truly going in blind. Most of what I've heard about this series is just like absolute hype and how mind-blowing it is, but like no specifics of the world or the characters or the plot other than there's a cat and the guy in the heart boxers. This seems like one of those books that you really have to read for yourself to truly understand. Like, I feel like part of the reason I don't hear specifics is because you can't explain it. But I am so excited to get started. You know, I love a good audiobook too. And literally everyone and their mom has said that these are the best audiobooks known to man. That is like the number one
true.
thing I have heard about this series. So I'm really excited for
same.
that.
I'm seriously just hearing this little bit from you guys. So excited to talk about the series with you.
It's so true, though, that you can't describe it to someone else. Even, like, when Lauren and I were on the road listening to it the first time, like, she said she fell asleep during some points, and she would wake up and be like, what I miss? I was like, I don't even know what to tell you. You're just going to have to keep listening.
I've tried to explain this book to people, and I feel like I just sound like a drunk weirdo saying random stuff.
Yeah, I can describe to you the first 2 chapters, and then from then on, you gotta trust me. Like,
Oh, I cannot
it.
wait to do
I
this
think I talked
series
my
with you
dad
guys.
into reading it today.
Ooh, nice.
Really? That's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm
He's
John's
got it on
dad.
hold at the library.
He does?
Yeah, he's the 13th person in line for this book.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, I don't know if you're going to get that in 2 weeks, buddy.
We hope you'll read along with us too and send this pod to your favorite people like your dad so they can read along too. Share your thoughts with us in the comments as we go, or head over to our Patreon Discord to chat with us and other listeners about each episode.
And while you're grabbing your copies of Dungeon Crawler Carl and reading and listening, because you better be, for episode 1, we'll be back next week for a fun Brimstone wrap-up episode with our friends from Banter and Bookmarks podcast. After that, our first episode of DCC will air on February 11th, covering chapters 1 to 17. Check out the reading schedule pinned on Instagram to follow along. And with that first episode, also comes some series-exclusive merch, so don't miss out on some DCC-themed BP&F gear that goes away at the end of our coverage of Book 3.
You're going to want it.
Exclusive.
You're going to want it.
You're gonna want
Fancy.
it.
You're going to want it. Congratulations! You've earned your first achievement, Functional Listener. Oh, look, you have ears and have finished the intro episode. This confirms you can hear sounds, process words, and tolerate 4 people explaining what they're about to do instead of doing it. A breathtaking display of baseline competence. Reward, +1 sense of accomplishment, non-transferable, expires immediately upon reflection. Visit our website at betweenpagesandfriends.com for sweet merch and all of our links for staying connected while you're there. Go and sign up for our monthly newsletter and check out our Patreon for our community of other really cool nerds. Until next time, stay wordy, stay nerdy, don't stress, and stay blessed.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
See you in the dungeon. Have fun storming the castle.